All right, Blues, the Champions League round of 16 has been decided. City are going to play Dynamo Kiev. So, it could have been a lot worse, couldn't it, Alex?
Yeah, it definitely could have been a lot worse. I think there was a lovely point halfway through the draw when you realised we were going to get PSV, Benfica or Dynamo Kiev. And it was like, well, hang on a minute, are we in the Champions League? That sounds like Europa League teams. United might get a tougher draw than City, and they're on Thursday night, Channel 5. It's an exciting one. Kiev away is hard. I know there'll be no fans in Kiev and they've got a stadium ban, but it's still an awkward 7-hour trip in February.
Yeah. I
can't imagine Kiev in the winter is particularly appealing, especially to players like Silva and Aguero that are used to playing in the sun. But, you know, you look at what we could have drawn, you look at who Arsenal and Chelsea have drawn.
Well, we could have got PSG, we could have got Roma. So I think we got away quite lightly.
I think the alternative is that for Kiev is that they've got to come to the Etihad.
They're thinking that's the hardest draw. Well, one of the hardest draws was in Barcelona.
Yeah, and I think this is part of the change in attitude. I mean, Walter talks about a small club mentality. Mike Burnett has talked about a small club mentality in fan camps. You've got to remember is that Kiev are probably going to be quite upset with that draw. There'll be teams in there that they would have preferred to have drawn. They would have wanted a team like Chelsea. Well, they couldn't have drawn Chelsea, obviously. But
well, they probably would have preferred it in the form that teams are in, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and I think that City, we've just gone and destroyed Mönchengladbach, we've destroyed Sevilla. All right, we struggled against one of the more established sides, Juventus. But actually, I'm going to go, we're in the last 16 and we're favourites to go through, I'd say.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We are going to be favourites going into both ties. And let's just clear up about the stadium ban. Because of racist incidents at Kiev Stadium, it's going to be an empty stadium, so no home fans. So City away fans will be punished again. But we're just going to have to forget about that and hope that we can get through to quarter-final. Last time we played Kiev, back in 2011, for those of you who remember, we got beat away at Kiev 2-0. Andrei Shevchenko, in the winter of his career, scored. And then we brought them back to the Etihad. We're probably quite confident we could beat them. Balotelli probably had the worst game in a City shirt. He missed a couple of sitters, got himself
3 yards out. Missed a 3-yard out sitter and then got himself sent off.
Got himself sent off for the most ridiculous kick out. And then, well, Kolarov scored from about 25 yards, but it was too little too late. So we were knocked out of the last 16, but that was in the Europa League in 2011. This team is better than that team. The Dynamo Kiev team it's still not massively brilliant. They've just played Chelsea. They got a 0-0 draw in Kiev the night where it did kick off. And all those racist incidents took place. And then Chelsea beat them narrowly 2-1 at home. So they're no easy team to break down.
Yeah, I think the importance is that we don't get complacent.
Correct.
They've qualified for the last 16. They've qualified on merit. Everyone there deserves to be there. Yeah. You know, and people are saying, well, Ghent's an easy draw. There are no easy... Oh, it's such a cliche, someone kill me now. Yeah. There are no easy games. But equally, it's a game that we should be winning.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a game we should be winning. Kiev, top of their Ukrainian league, but... that without sounding disrespectful, it's not the same sort of standard or quality as the Premier League, so you can't really...
It's a four-star team up against a 5-star team,
yes.
And that's that. I think City will consider themselves, the aim is to ultimately win the Champions League at some stage. For Kiev, I think it's solidarity.
Yeah, well, solidarity. Looking forward, without being complacent, the teams that we could get in the quarter-final, Wolfsburg are playing Ghent, so one of those two teams will be in the quarter-final. Benfica are playing Zenit, one of those two teams will be in the quarter-finals, sorry. If we get through to the quarter-finals, you're looking at one of those two teams and thinking, oh my God, if we draw Wolfsburg or Ghent, we could be looking at being favourites to get into a semi-final. Flip side of that, Arsenal are playing Barcelona, so they're crying somewhere in North London. Chelsea have got PSG, which is a real revenge mission for Chelsea after last year. So there's some big ties, Juve and Bayern. So 3 of those teams are getting knocked out.
I think this is kind of a nice one because City Kiev is going to be one of the quieter fixtures.
Correct.
Well, we can go and win 2-0 at home, 1-1 away, and it's sort of in the
corner.
And we can watch Juve Bayern, which, by the way, could easily have been the final this year of the Champions League. Watch that, get excited on the television screens, have that with a few beers and have your mates round, get excited for that one. One of those two teams is going to get knocked out. Personally, I hope Juventus win that because I fancy our chances. I know they've beaten us twice this year already.
You'd rather play Juve than Bayern.
Yeah. Chelsea PSG, I think City could beat either of those teams over 2 legs.
I think Chelsea will do that.
Chelsea they've got a point to prove, haven't they? Like you said. There was racism there. There's a whole backdrop to that.
Yeah.
And so there are dangerous teams.
Arsenal, Barca.
Arsenal could do us a favour there. No.
I think Per Mertesacker versus Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. They're going to be looking at him going.
All right. Fair enough. Wow. But also, Arsenal, they're jammy, aren't they? I mean, if I'd told you that Arsenal were going to school Bayern Munich at the Emirates,
it's true.
This
well,
season.
If they just need a bit of luck, like we needed against Barca. If you get a bit of luck, you won't get humiliated. So, good luck to them. That's all I'm going to say. But let us know what you think about this Kiev draw. It's a big one for us. It's the first time we've got into a last 16. And been quite positive about the draw. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video if you've enjoyed this coverage today. Check out our live stream from earlier on as well. So many of you joined us, it was amazing. So check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below and we'll see you again soon.